The 3 count question of the week.
All right, so kind of a two-parter this week for question of the week. Obviously, one of the bigger items in wrestling, major wrestling this week was the launch of the third version of NXT, which is NXT 2.0. Math is hard, apparently. But the new look, the new feel, the new I guess they're even just are they even calling it the Capitol Wrestling Center anymore? I
don't think so.
It's like the NXT arena, I guess.
The NXT Thunderdome.
And of course the wedding of Indy Hartwell and Dexter Lumis. We'll talk about that. But what did you guys think of either? That was or of both, I should say, not of either. That's our kind of two-part question of the week. So why don't we just start with NXT 2.0 as a whole? The layout, the look, the feel, the superstars, the names of some superstars, look alone. It's nothing against what NXT was, but I kind of like the fresh painted coat, as Pritchard and Connie might say. I'm still, ever since I saw that guy that pointed out how like off center the logo is, I can't unsee that with the way my brain works. But I liked the new look. Of the NXT arena and of the presentation as a whole. I like it. I think it's they turned lights on, which I don't think they had done in NXT for like 5 years. So
I think they were contractually obligated to not, due to their contract with Ed Hardy, apparently, because that was like Now I hate that I liked NXT 2.0.
I like that.
Like it definitely felt like baby's first WWE in a sort of way. Like, but I hate that I liked it. It was very. It felt almost like a nod back to like 90s wrestling.
Okay.
Colorful characters, wacky names, fun angles. It works for me. I hope they can keep the momentum going. The only way this could have been better is if it was 1 hour.
Okay.
Because this feels like a Superstars. It feels like it feels like 90s WWE. Yeah.
Like
it does. It does have that feel to it. Ryan, Matt, your guys' thoughts on?
Yeah, I can agree with Tim on that. The feeling of like a Superstars show, and maybe it's until they like reestablish their roster under this new format. But you hit the nail on the head. I hate that I liked it. I mean, there was a lot of the Capitol Wrestling Center that I really liked too. I like the indie feel to that. I enjoyed what they gave us at Full Sail, but that ship has sailed.
No.
I didn't want to, but I backed myself into the corner there. I really didn't want that. That just wasn't good.
That ship has gone down the tracks.
It has gone down the train tracks.
Ship was delayed.
That ship has full sailed out of here.
Has sailed out. So no, I enjoyed it. We had a wedding that went off pretty much without a hitch, which is crazy. I love the Dexter Lumis character. I'm glad that he's like feels like a focal point of new NXT. And I also, maybe if the WWE, I don't know, promoted NXT as much as they're promoting NXT 2, we wouldn't need an NXT 2.
Yeah, we'll get to that part of it too, because I know you had tweeted that out during Raw on Monday.
It just felt like a lot.
Right.
It was
and
like every commercial break.
It's a lot.
is that kind of like when Vince says I'm taking over is just that I'm going to actually like make sure that we talk about this like we should, as opposed to I'm going to do things to it, because there is still like enough left of NXT 1.0, I think, to carry over that made it likable. I think that's why I'm not so mad that I liked it, just because there's still like the same storylines carried over, some of the same talents still getting pushed. So we're still seeing the NXT that we liked. It's just going to be pushed down our throats. And that's kind of my hesitation with it, is just because we've seen what can happen when Vince wants to push something down our throats. It's unpleasant. The turn me on soundbite was
It turns me on.
Yeah, it's let's talk about that, because there's been conflicting reports, depending what sites you read or don't read this week, about who exactly is running the new NXT. Is it Vince and Bruce? Is it still Triple H? Is it some combination of all of them, or what have you?
Rod Breaker. I couldn't fucking keep it in any longer.
At first I was like, that guy looks like Rick Steiner's kid.
God.
And all my wife could say is like, he has a really colorful singlet. And I was like, that's definitely Rick Steiner's kid.
There's the genes in the Rick Steiner family are strong.
Yeah, you ain't
He
kidding.
looks, you couldn't tell, like, I could have not watched wrestling for 20 years and I opened my eyes and I'm like, Rick Steiner?
Is that the puppy-faced gremlin?
Puppy-faced Grum Grum?
Like, what the fuck is going on here? But yeah, I mean, for on Raw and SmackDown the last few weeks, we have seen pretty much the same commercial at every break, pushing the new NXT. And yeah, Ryan, I think you tweeted out something like what you just said, is like, if they pushed the original NXT the way they're pushing 2.0, would we need the 2.0? And I saw also people like pointing out that like this is like the third version of NXT, because there was like Game Show NXT and then the NXT we knew and loved. I think of it like the way that Apple numbers their phones. So like you have, you had like the 6 and then like the 6S and then you get the 7. So like the version that we just got done with NXT was like NXT S, and now we're at 2.0. But yeah,
I don't like that comparison, because we really had more than we had the Game Show, and then we had like Full Sail, then we had Triple H, and now we have 2.0.
It was 1,
No.
and then the 1S, and then there was 2, and then the 2S, and now we're shit.
See, I feel
But
like
we're at
don't make me do that.
NXT Dynamite.
it's more like the Xbox.
Okay.
So original NXT is the Xbox. So that's
Mhm.
Game Show NXT. Then we get NXT Reboot. That's NXT 360. They've come full circle.
Okay.
Then we get the NXT we all came to know and love. That's Xbox One.
Okay.
And what is that? That is
Yeah.
like the Big X Championship, right?
No. So to me, that is the 360. The 360 is the
Okay,
X
okay.
Championship.
Got it.
The one is the new titles.
Gotcha.
And then now we're in the Series X, Series S, which is 2.0.
I'm dizzy, but I think I got you.
Naming conventions, they're weird. They're hard.
It's silly. It's very silly.
Silly Billies.
But
Didn't like that.
I don't know who's running the new NXT. I don't know who the main guy sitting at the chair in the back is. But if Vince McMahon is more interested in the promotion of NXT and like the rebuild of the brand with building new stars and characters, then that's probably a good thing for the brand. Like I know, right, wrong, or indifferent. Like everybody has their opinions of Vince McMahon, but like if he wants to push this and promote this, and the developmental of WWE needing kind of retooled, which I mean I think it kind of does, is probably a good thing if the guy who writes the checks is behind it. If he gets too heavy-handed on the creative side, then maybe it might not be the best thing. So that's going to obviously be something to watch. But I mean, your closing shot last night was what the Rick Steiner's kid. What the hell's his goddamn name? It's going to be tough to commit that one to memory, but he's standing there confronting new NXT champion Tomato Chips. So like
Tomato Chips.
It's
Braun Breaker, dude.
Braun Breaker. Oof.
Braun Breakerman.
That's tough. But
It makes sense not to use Rex Steiner. Like, I get that.
Like, what?
Well, his last name is Rex Steiner. So
right.
you just,
but like,
Rex Steiner, you say it quickly, it sounds like his shoot last name. He goes to NXT or AEW in the future. I get it.
Give him the like, and I'm not getting overly worked up about the different name. I mean, name's a name. If you're gonna get pushed, then your star is gonna outshine a bad name, or a bad name can be changed as well. But like, I don't know why you wouldn't use the fact that you have a Steiner. That part is what doesn't make sense to me. Like why we know it's him.
I capitalized off of that brand.
You called him they called him, or they mentioned Dogface Gremlin during the match with LA Knight. So like you're not trying to shy away from the fact that he's Rick Steiner's kid. So why are you trying to shy away from the fact that he's Rick Steiner's kid?
Well, you got a 33 and a third % chance to shy away from the fact that he's Rick Steiner's kid.
That's the only thing I didn't like, man. Braun Breaker, like, can we as a group, can we band together and just not call him that? And let's just all say Rex Steiner, and if long enough, they'll change his name.
What's his first name?
Bronson.
Oh, got it.
He's
that's
Bronson.
Bronson
Rick Steiner.
Like, what are they just call him? Just call him Rick Steiner Jr. for Christ's sake.
You could just call him Steiner.
Right.
Yeah.
Just Steiner. One name.
Just Steiner would have been fine.
Can we take bets on which part of the name he ends up losing? Is he going to lose Braun or is he going to lose Breaker?
Oh, he's losing Braun.
He's going to just be Breaker one day?
Oh, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh,
yeah, that's a main roster breaker every day.
Yeah.
It's a
when he
breaker.
becomes 24/7 champion by pinning the Ninja, he will be Breaker.
Ninja. Doing some ninja stuff. Very Kabuki-ish.
A bit.
Is that what we're calling Akira Tozawa now? Just Ninja?
No, I think he's back to being.
He's not even the 24/7 champion.
No, but he said ninja.
Reggie is right.
Wait, he's not a ninja.
Oh no, Reggie's not a ninja.
No.
Be very careful.
A few of the responses here from folks. EJ says hilarious, fun, and enjoyable for the show. Charlie said thought it was a very fun 2 hours. Hindsight being 2029. I think might mean 2020, but
really focused.
But 2029 might be a thing.
No, it's poor vision in the left eye.
2029 vision.
I would have had a vignette or something to introduce all the new faces before throwing them on TV. Wedding was over the top as it should have been. He enjoyed every minute of it. Christopher said he wasn't a fan of the wedding segment. He said he felt his IQ dropping while watching it. Well, he said, while watching it, I was asking myself, is Loomis supposed to be a mute?
That's somebody who doesn't watch NXT.
Right. And I did
That's
respond to
fair.
him. I said, like, do you not watch NXT? Because, like,
He is a silent man.
right, like, motherfucker he doesn't talk.
I mean, Sam Shaw didn't do much talking in Impact, so does the guy just not watch wrestling?
He
Like,
might
his
not.
Loomis character is not that far off from his character ever.
Right. So
Except
that's
it's
why
cool.
the I do was as big as it was. Like, that was a big moment in the wedding because he doesn't really talk.
And
Zach
also,
says,
your IQ ain't dropping. You're watching wrestling.
right.
Come on.
I mean,
Don't blame it on a segment. Blame it on the whole fucking thing. Just be dumb and watch wrestling with us.
exactly.
Just be stupid.
It's the way we should do it.
There's a T-shirt for you.
There we go.
Be dumb and watch wrestling.
Be dumb and watch wrestling. There you go, Tim. Write it down. Zach said, really like the wedding. Loomis is surprisingly great as this creepy psycho baby face. Only thing is, there's almost no reaction from the audience with him showing the axe, which was disappointing. Which I don't think that, and I said that I don't think a lot of people could see it, because I think when he turned, he was facing like the ramp, and I don't know what was on the screen or if anything was on a screen, but and then Jason
Probably
says
just a production issue, you think?
possibly.
No, it's not AEW. Come on, Matt.
I was gonna say, because we're being pretty lenient if it was a production issue.
I mean, I don't know what was seen. I mean, I know on TV I could see it. I don't know what was seen in the building, or if like people were playing along because you don't want to react to the axe, so Indy doesn't know that he has the axe in his jacket. So I don't know if the fans are playing along as well. Jason says seeing the fans' legs in the front row on TV is weirdly unsettling, which I had said didn't notice it, but now I won't be able to unsee it.
Yep, that's
And then Nick says surreal, definitely becoming more developmental oriented. Kevin Dunn's production of cameras sucked, but not shocking. Index wedding was okay.
One thing I did notice, a lot of like not indie guys on the card for the most part. Like Braun Breaker, former athlete, the Creed brothers, former athlete, Von Wagner, second generation wrestler, not an indie guy. Trick Williams, is that his name? Trick Williams?
Trick Daddy.
Yeah, Trick Daddy love the kids. But he's with Carmelo Hayes. He was a part of that same performance center class with
Like Carmelo Hayes is in
Christian
India,
Casanova, yes.
you know. But yeah, not a lot.
But B-Fab too, not an indie darling at all. Lots of
Yeah, I mean,
lots of fun stuff.
from a roster standpoint, it was a very different NXT, and had a different feel from the start. Which I guess, I mean, if you're going to launch a new brand, you know, that's something that should probably be kind of front and center is new faces and a new feel. And yeah, I definitely liked the closing moment of the show being Rex Steiner confronting the new NXT champion, because like it's, you know, he pinned a guy who was in that fatal 4-way, and now he's facing, you know, he's standing face to face with you know, I felt, you know, beginning, middle, and end of that show was about Rex Steiner.
Now, I don't want to speak in rumor and innuendo, but have we heard what the original plan for NXT 2.0 was going to be?
I don't think so.
So Samoa Joe was supposed to still be champion.
Okay.
He was supposed to lose the title to Braun Breaker last night.
Really?
The first night they were going to switch the title and they were going to put it on Braun Breaker, but because Joe's out, they're going with the slow burn.
Huh.
I actually don't necessarily hate
that at all.
Rex Steiner beating Samoa Joe
Yeah.
if it would have played out.
That was the thought, is that Braun Breaker was going to beat Samoa Joe and become the new face of NXT at the beginning of 2.0.
I wouldn't.
To
I would not.
start
Have,
the show.
Episode 1.
Oh,
Braun Breaker.
I thought you meant like
Not
that
like
was
open the show with it.
I'm
but,
sorry.
I mean, that would have been surprising too.
well, maybe they would have, because you still had the wedding. Like the wedding could have closed the shows.
Right. LA
then-
Knight would have been the Samoa Joe match.
Maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't have hated that. Now I'm like
And
I'm
LA
like
Knight and LA. So yeah, Braun Breaker would have fought Samoa Joe, won the title, and then La Knight would have been in the.
which I thought for sure when La Knight lost to Braun Breaker that he was definitely going to go over and win the title. I felt like that was like a classic WWE move. Have the guy that loses early ends up winning late.
See, but then to me, so if I'm WWE, like if I'm not entirely sold on the slow burn for Braun Breaker, and I want him to be the face, then why doesn't he beat LA Knight for LA Knight's spot in the 4-way? And
That-
then
Why-
just wins the thing?
Why wouldn't they put him in instead of Jeep Wagoneer or whatever the guy's name was?
That's so good. That is so good. I hate it. Oh, I hate it. Oh man.
A broken clock twice a day.
Jeep Wagoneer. God bless.
That even got an LOL out of Devin, Ryan.
Oh, really? That
Counting
tickled.
through.
That tickled Devin. I'll take it. I'll take it.
Oh, yep, Devin sure did. Tickled him right there.
Funny
Wait.
bone.
God damn it, Ryan. Yeah. I don't even know what the fuck we were talking about.
I
We're
couldn't
talking
tell you
about the
either.
Jeep Wagoneer.
But as soon as you started talking, a Jeep Wagoneer popped in my head. And I'm like, I'm gonna have to just sit on it for a minute.
Yeah, hold that.
I'm gonna hold it in.
Oh my god, that was good. All right.
Braun
Index-
Breaker.
Index and any other thoughts on Braun Breaker or Jeep Wagoneer?
Well, yeah, the Kyle O'Reilly. What was the purpose of taking him out other than putting in another new guy? Is that the only reason that this happened? To just
I guess.
Sure, I did.
I don't know.
Maybe it's that Jeep sponsor.
it just seems weird. I guess.
It is very weird.
Yeah, I don't know, because I was hosting Huddle Up, and all of a sudden, you know,
Huddle Up. What? Hold on. But you just buried the lead here. What's Huddle Up?
it's this sports podcast that I do on Tuesday nights.
Ah, okay. And like, where could they find information on Huddle Up?
The facebook.com/Huddle Up Podcast, Twitter @Huddle Up Podcast.
There we go.
And
But
you
I'm-
cover all of the sports,
most of the sports.
most of the sports.
most
so,
of the
so if
sports.
I want cricket updates, I come
We
to
haven't
Huddle Up?
gotten to cricket yet. But
Pretty
if,
much
cricket-
just golf and football.
but it's still going. If
Golf
you're
ball.
interested about cricket, it's still being played. The first game ever actually is still being played.
What about frisbee golf? Do you guys cover frisbee
Ooh.
golf?
Haven't quite gotten to frisbee golf. There's only so much time on an episode.
Does ESPN still do the cup stacking shit, or is that's over?
I think that's over because like sports are back. I think that was just aired during the pandemic.
Okay.
The early
Believe so,
stages.
yeah.
And I know Huddle Up only talks about basketball if Matt's co-hosting, correct?
Generally,
Even-
yes.
Even
Matt will
then, it's a stretch.
Right. It's like, hey Matt, was there basketball tonight? Yeah, okay,
Yep.
good. We're great. We're doing awesome.
Still doing
Um,
basketball stuff.
And like, yeah, and then Jeep Wagoneer was on my screen. I'm like, why is that's not Kyle? That's not cool, Kyle.
Not
But there we are. The wedding. the Index wedding. Probably one of the better wrestling wedding segments produced. I think it just like everybody played their part perfectly. It was shot well. I mean, like when he hit the do and like Austin Theory pops up and like the crowd just goes crazy. Like I thought everybody played their part extremely well in that one. And yeah, I really loved the Index wedding.
I mean, it's definitely like a top 2 wedding of all time in wrestling for me. Like, it really depends on if I want to disparage the Macho and Liz wedding. That's about it. And I would know. I'm a bit of an authority on wrestling weddings.
He's a wedding guy.
Didn't you and a friend of yours do a podcast like series?
We did we covered
Like
8 of them.
like you did a season on weddings, right?
Yeah, you know,
Like
Final
if
Wrestling
people,
Place.
so like if you're kind of bearing the lead here, if people wanted to listen to that or current new episodes, where would they go to find that?
I mean, you go to your local podcast conglomerate on your Apple Podcasts or your Spotify's or whatever's, and you search for Final Wrestling Place, or you'll see a picture with Kevin Nash and Francine sitting on a couch together. That's us. They're the gatekeepers to the good place of professional wrestling.
As they should be, I think.
Yeah, we cover that and so many other topics. Like this season, we're covering the Raw guest hosts era.
Oof.
I know. We crust to tip the world of wrestling.
So at some point, you're going to talk about Grumpy Cat hosting Monday Night Raw?
Was Grumpy Cat a guest host or a guest star?
I feel like it was hosted by Grumpy Cat.
I think it might have been
I
a
think
host.
they did get the title of host. As Ryan was so pissed.
Oh boy, that torqued me real hard.
Ryan was real pissed.
He was torqued, is what you were saying.
Real pissed.
Torqued.
Devin thought the wedding was ridiculous, and he loved every second of it.
It was like the perfect payoff for the whole storyline, I thought.
Dexter pulling out the axe was hilarious.
Like everybody gets it, anybody wants to speak now, motherfucker pulls an axe, shows an axe in his jacket, choking out the priest.
I love how when he went down, everybody was chanting for Damian Priest to show up and finish the fight.
Because he did show up. He was
did.
in the back.
I would have actually been down for Damian Priest.
That would have been pretty good.
Being the finisher. No offense, but the more and more I hear like Beth Phoenix on commentary or involved in wrestling in any way other than being in the ring, I'm not entirely sold on Beth Phoenix story driver.
Yeah, I can see that. I would rather.
I love her though. I love her.
I would rather Beth Phoenix on commentary than Chris Jericho. But
would you rather Mauro Ranallo?
No, I don't think I would.
Yeah.
I don't think I did.
Mamma mia!
I don't need that in my wrestling. Ryan, thoughts on the wedding?
I didn't know Grumpy Cat died.
Yeah,
Totes died.
A couple of years ago, right?
Yeah, back in 2019. I didn't know that. I'm just so angry about this Grumpy Cat thing now. The Miami Herald said that they guest starred.
Okay.
Guest star.
BuzzFeed said Grumpy Cat just hosted Raw. So I would definitely take Grumpy Cat over anything, or BuzzFeed over anything. Pinterest said Grumpy Cat hosted, and Pinterest never lies.
it's true. They're not allowed to legally.
That is in the rules. Yeah,
Not
great
on
wedding.
Al Gore's internet.
Well, now that Fox owns TMZ, what can we say?
You
True
can't
as
say
well.
So
method.
people.com, WWE is about to get a little bit grumpy.
WWA.
WWE.
World Wrestling All-Stars?
WA.
It was. Hey. Grumpy Cat will host Monday Night Raw on
There
November.
it is. You got to do it.
No.
People.com, yeah.
People.com doesn't lie.
Also with
They're verified on Twitter, bitch.
The Miami Herald says that Grumpy Cat will guest star.
See,
let's settle this via Twitter.
we're going
Actually-
to Wikipedia.
Because that's the place to settle an argument.
It is. They have a
Look,
list.
Matt is the stat guy. You have to trust what Matt says.
It's true. He is the stat guy.
Also,
Miami Herald Sports, if we want to go that route, has 33,000 followers.
who?
Grumpy Cat was a
Miami.
guest star.
Herald has 490,000 followers. People Magazine
People Magazine
has
sounds legit.
7.5 million.
That's with
They
a
will
B.
be the authority.
I found this on WWE.com.
This would probably be the one, actually.
It is a graphic. WWE Raw with special guest star
Oh,
Grumpy Cat. Damn it. I was so looking forward to you guys talking about Grumpy Cat.
She's out.
Man, now I'm bummed. I am bummed.
Hate it.
Ryan Stillman.
I don't know if I would put this number 2. When I think weddings, I think Liz Savage, and then the disaster that was Billy and Chuck. This one goes number 3 for me.
so where do you put Test and Stephanie and Triple H?
I
Dude.
Oh boy, that's
When I think about wrestling weddings,
That
Stephanie screaming at the end of that Monday Night Raw is the first thing that comes into my mind.
really.
Yes, over Liz and Savage, Stephanie McMahon screaming at the end of that episode of Raw.
I don't
is-
think I can think of a wrestling wedding without seeing Bischoff pulling his. That's the
Yeah.
image for me.
That's the image for you.
That's the thing I go right to. Oh boy, but
Yeah, no.
that Triple H Stephanie one's great too.
Stephanie's anger scream is just, it sticks out to me. It definitely sticks out to me.
I definitely can't name 8. If you guys reviewed 8, I couldn't. I think I've tapped out.
I mean, are you counting the Undertaker Stephanie wedding? Is that one of the ones?
So Stephanie McMahon was married 3 times on WWE television, or had 3 weddings on WWE television. There was the one with the Undertaker. There was the one with Test that ended up being the one with Triple H. So technically 4, because there was a second Triple H wedding
In the
on
car, right?
SmackDown. So there was the one in the car, and there was the one on SmackDown where Stephanie McMahon feigned to be pregnant, and she used her pregnancy to make Triple H marry her again, and he found out that was fake, and then he pedigreed her.
I forgot about that one.
So there's also another reason why that wedding is famous, and you can probably find that on Reddit.
Like, that's it. When I think wrestling weddings,
And that
scream.
that's the Triple H wedding from SmackDown.
That's not the Test wedding.
No.
He pedigrees her then?
Yeah, he gets, well, I don't know if he fully pedigrees
Yeah,
her,
times
but
were simpler back then.
he doubles her over, and the dress doesn't do a very good job of containing the $1 billion princess.
Her.
Sauce it.
Wow, shit. Then I remember things wrong.
Look at
apparently.
Matt pulling up Reddit right away. What a perv.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
Would you say it was Redding?
Reddit.com.
But no, I did. I think this was one of the. Let's try to put our overlay back up. I thought this was a fantastic wedding. Any other thoughts on this before we cut the break?
When we come back from break, we should put that picture back up and then each say what we think she's saying or screaming in that moment.
Okay. We can do that. We'll give you time to think about that.